Welcome back, everybody, to Dan Excelsior, the mostly Marvel podcast. I'm your host, Ricky. With me, as always, Dennis.
What's up?
Uh, Spider-Man. Spider-Man, just what's up?
Hell yeah.
A
We talking
Spider-Man
about
came out.
we talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day this week. We cleared the schedule last week by doing an extra X-Men episode,
Mm-hmm.
just so that we could only talk about this today. I'm excited. I think I feel weird about doing talking about a movie so shortly after it came out, but I think everyone in the world saw it, so I think we're good.
You're the only one who feels that way.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this movie just came out. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, you could have just gone with my joke, but instead you had to make it a confrontational thing about something I do wrong compared to everybody else. But
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, I was making
yeah.
a fun joke about how it made almost $1 billion, and there's no chance we're really spoiling this for anybody who truly wanted to see that movie. Uh, that also is the cross section that watches this show. So yeah, let's talk about it tonight. We're gonna do it. But before we do that, we're probably gonna talk about what's been going on. I know you were sick last week. How'd
Yeah.
the rest of that week go for you?
A lot of naps. I was actually back in San Diego on Friday night. Um, got to stay downtown, and we were put on the very top floor of a hotel. Amazing views, but it was hot as shit up there.
Yeah.
Like you'd walk out, and like the sun would just be cooking on your window.
Oh,
Um,
what were you there for?
Selena ran a race Saturday,
Oh, okay.
so we're just a very, very, very quick trip. We were back like within, I think, like 12, 13 hours, just there and back.
Mm.
Um, but good time nonetheless. And then I was a little bummed because like the way the weekend had played out, I could not see a Spider-Man until Sunday night. So there was a
Wow.
lot of anticipation on my Saturday and Sunday morning of I kind of just want to see Spider-Man.
Yeah, that would be hard. That would be hard. I will say, for me, I chose not to try and watch it on the Thursday night because I think I was doing the nerdy things with our friends on Thursday night. So I chose to do the movie on Friday, and that was that was hard to like go that one day on social media like without
Yeah,
getting
but you did
too
Friday morning,
spoiled.
right?
No, Friday night.
Okay.
It was hard. I got a little spoiled, a
Yeah.
little bit, tiny bit. But it's okay. I went and saw it in 40x, and it was a joy. Just without talking about the movie itself, the 40x experience was just super fun. It was 40x 3D actually. The 3D was nice and crisp. Everything was in focus perfectly. The depth of field was impressive for a lot of scenes, and honestly, just web swinging through the city or all the combat was super fun in the ride. Like I may have cried a little bit, just a
I
little
want to
bit.
see the Odyssey in 40x.
Interesting, interesting.
Apparently, that gets pretty crazy.
I could see that.
You also get your
I
money's
could.
worth.
Yeah, yeah. But Spider-Man 40x 3D was a trip. It was super fun, so highly recommend. But what else did you do this weekend or this week besides
Uh,
heal?
Mostly just caught up on shows. I mean, I finished King of the Hill, the 15th, 16th season, 15th season, the second season of the revival, but it's still the same show. That show's amazing. They age up everyone so well and dealing with today's problems.
That's cool.
And I wholly stand by the statement. Like, if I meet someone on the street, and they're like, "I like King of the Hill too." I just know they're a good spirited person. Like, as opposed to meeting someone like, "I like Rick and Morty." That can go a different way. there's some Rick and Morty where I don't know if I want to be a fan of or not.
That's fair. Have you seen President Curtis yet?
I've seen bits of President Curtis. I'm not. eh. I know you. I know that show exists because Keith David exists. But I think if that show did not have Keith David, I don't think it'd be that great.
I don't think that's a hot take, Ricky.
Well, in terms of like he is carrying that show on all levels,
Of
whereas
course he is. He's
I don't
Keith
think
David. He's Keith David.
Curtis is, and it was an interesting character or is a interesting character.
I think Keith David and President Curtis are intertwined and cannot be separated. And because I like Keith David, I like President Curtis. But I do understand what you're saying. I do not feel it is a superior show to Rick and Morty. In fact, I do feel it is an inferior show. But the strength of Keith David is enough to carry me for sure. There is very little with in the ring. It doesn't look good. It could be sweat.
You see
Uh,
shit?
I don't know.
Aw.
I don't know what I saw
Shit
for sure.
pants WWE.
SummerSlam.
I mean, keep
SummerSlam.
talking.
But no, it wasn't a great event. I know that they were still running discounts on seats for $25 up until like days before the event. They were definitely having trouble filling that arena for 2 nights. It's almost like that event did not need to be 2 nights. But
Is it? It's not always 2 nights, is it?
No, they've only turned WrestleMania and SummerSlam into 2 nights.
Okay.
Those are the only two. But you could argue after this weekend that maybe SummerSlam isn't as deserving as WrestleMania.
Well, it's also in fucking Minnesota.
Yeah, that's true. That's true too. That's valid point. Nothing against our Minnesotan watchers. But yeah, no, it wasn't a great event, but I had fun with my wife watching all the silly stuff. And my special few moments was Chelsea Green got the WWE interim title. She's holding it while Rhea Ripley is out on injury, and they will resolve the dispute between those two when Rhea returns. I love me some Chelsea Green, so I'm very happy about that. That was really cool. Chad Gable also got a belt. It's really cool.
I know we won't get back to it, but I kind of hate how they stopped having cool names.
What do you mean?
They're just names.
They're not all just names.
It's more names than what it used to be.
L.A. Knight? That's not his name.
There are more names now than what there used to be.
I mean, I question what you're talking about. When are you talking?
I'm talking up until 2000. You had like Sting. You had Macho Man.
You think Obafemi is his real name?
I know, but they're not like they're gimmicky names. They're not. I want like a title.
You think Trick Williams is his name?
No, but I know they're going off naming when they could have like
Danhausen. That's not his name.
I hate Danhausen. I don't know what he is, but I just hate the look. I hate the. I don't get the joke. It's like Joe Hendry. Like some of this is. It would be a lot cooler if they had a cool sick ass name.
It's so easy for you to hate things.
They just have dumb names.
It's so easy. You have so much hate in your heart.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was. I think the Raw episode that aired yesterday was much more entertaining than the 2-night event, which I generally find to be the case always. Is the Monday Night Raw after a premium live event is always the better one, because they gotta make up for all the stuff they screwed up over the weekend. So yeah, that's about
you're on like you're 2 years into your wrestling.
Nope.
Revival.
I am a year and maybe 2 months.
Okay,
2 months.
so a
Maybe
little over a
2 months.
year. You
Yeah,
see
I
that
think
train stopping? Has your
uh,
wrestling habits increased or decreased?
it won't stop as long as my wife is
That's
living,
fair.
and she does not seem to want to stop. I support this so much because it's
And
so.
AEW doesn't interest or New
She's tried.
Japan?
She's
New
tried. She
Japan?
she has not tried New Japan, but she's tried AEW a few times, and it's just not like
My
she kind of
understanding,
like
AEW is objectively better wrestling.
what
From my understanding, AEW is better like raw
I
wrestling.
I question who says that because like every time I watch it, it is not objectively better.
Okay.
It is objectively sweatier. It is objectively bloodier, and it is objectively more boring.
Hmm.
But I think by boring I mean less whimsical is what I'm saying.
Okay.
But I think the Disneyfication of wrestling in WWE is part of the charm for me for making it accessible.
Hmm.
But I know that there's old school fans out there that really want to just watch big meaty men just slapping
Technical
people.
wrestling. Yeah.
I don't know if it's technical wrestling, but I do know the characters are less interesting for most of them. I'm not gonna hate on MGF. I'm not gonna or MJF. I'm not gonna hate on Tony Storm. I'm not gonna. I know who exists out there. But it for on the whole, it just doesn't do it for us. So, but we might try sometime at some
Yeah.
point.
Well,
And then
bef-
before we get into the news, just so
yeah.
you know, because I know you're gonna do it. Uh, I producer Lindsay, who is in charge of my viewing habits for wrestling, and also in charge of making me plug shamelessly. She wanted me to let you know that I am doing an art show this weekend at the Escondido Arts Partnership. It's called High Res. It's a digital art show, and I will have this picture uh, available for purchase at the event and on display. And I will also have this picture on display. Uh, they're both. I submitted 3 pictures. I got 2 in. I was really happy about both of them. But yeah, which one's your favorite?
Mm, probably that one.
Yeah, the Thunderbolts red.
Hmm.
It's okay. You don't have to love the Flash.
I think I don't like the way the boot looks on the Flash.
The boot.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. But yeah, I just wanted to share that just because it's a shameless plug for myself, and that's it. That's all I got.
You can plug in. All this show is plugging.
Okay, cool. Shameless.
All right. Should we do some news?
Yeah, let's do it.
Spider-Man: Brand New Day becomes the second fastest movie to hit the 1 billion milestone.
What's the
Uh,
fastest?
well, it made 1 billion in 6 days. I would say, do you want to guess the fastest?
Hmm. Is that Endgame?
It is Endgame, yeah.
Okay.
Endgame has a beat by, I believe, a day.
But I know Spider-Man's Thursday beat Endgames and Friday and Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to. So I guess it's Endgame picked up on the Monday and Tuesday.
If
Because
I
I know
remember
Spider-Man
correctly,
Spider-Man had the biggest weekend opening of any movie ever.
biggest domestic box office, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty crazy,
Um,
man. I think that I think it's funny that every time people have the argument that like are people's interest in superhero movies waning. I don't think that's the case. I think that like well, especially at least in the instance of Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man is at a minimum the exception to the rule, but I don't think it's just Spider-Man. I think Deadpool does great in theaters too, right? I think there's just certain characters that resonate better with people with the world or with the viewers than others, and I think it helps that Spider-Man's movies always end in a way that leaves you wanting more, right?
I mean,
So like,
Spider-Man performed. Like it's just a known.
yeah,
Those movies, each of them, with and without Tom Holland, just
yeah.
consistently deliver at the box office.
I don't think the Jamie Foxx one, the Amazing 2 didn't do great, relatively speaking, to the other
Didn't do
ones.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah, but you know what
not
I mean.
great compared to other Spider-Man. Is
But
still amazing.
even Spider-Man 3 did a lot better than Amazing 2. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? So,
yeah.
uh, but
Um,
yeah, I think it helps when the movie's good, and I know that's getting ahead of ourselves, but it is good. So, word of mouth
I
helps
mean, you don't get a
drive
refund
it.
on the ticket.
I don't what?
You don't get a refund on the ticket if it's bad.
I
But
know,
yes, I do think.
but word of mouth is the point.
Yeah. Sticking on the movie train or TV MCU train. This happened super quick after
Oh
the
no,
highs of all of the Spider-Man.
you're gonna break my heart right now, aren't you?
Wonder Man season 2 has been canceled.
You want to know
Um,
the most awkward part about this?
sure.
On TikTok yesterday morning,
Mhm.
Marvel Entertainment released a video that I think was already scheduled to release, and it was a whole promo of all the talent involved in Wonder Man, speculating what they want to see in season 2.
That's awkward.
Somebody greenlit that video to release at Marvel
Well,
on Monday.
it they are putting in an awkward position right now because obviously the success of Spider-Man um, brings a lot of light to Marvel Studios, paired with the fact that they have to do a lot of Emmy press for Wonder Man. It did get a few nominations, which is impressive. Um, but then also sadly paired with the fact that this just gets canceled. Um, the co-creator Daniel Destin, it's Cretan, right?
Yeah,
Cretan. Also, he co-wrote Wonder Man. He also directed the first 2 episodes. He kind of
and
put out a statement
and directed
saying,
Spider-Man.
and directed Spider-Man.
Destin Daniel Cretton.
Destin Daniel Cretan. Um, basically saying everything was good to go. Time was booked. It was going to happen beginning of next year, and they just canceled. But he did allude to there's an interesting statement where he said he knows Kevin feels the same way, but he also understands that this decision came from above Kevin.
For sure.
That's interesting.
Like, I
I mean,
mean,
it does seem like all the Disney Plus shows stuff is just getting axed at this point.
well, yes and no, but let's be honest and let's take a step back for a second. I
Hmm.
know for a fact that you and I were calling out how poorly promoted Wonder Man was, how poorly promoted uh, uh, Ironheart was, how poorly promoted Eyes of Wakanda was, and also like the fact that Mahershala Ali is pretty upset
Oh yeah, that's
about
the other news. Yeah,
about Blade,
Blade's
and he's
officially get canceled.
yeah, and he straight up called them out and said if Marvel really wanted to make Blade, they would have made it. You know what I mean? Like, and he's not wrong. Like, I think there's something going on that where they're not prioritizing certain certain projects above others in fair ways. You know what I mean?
I think 2 things can be true.
Not prioritizing. I don't mean to say prioritizing, but you know what I mean. They're not putting the same effort into certain projects that they are in others.
I
Yes,
always like
two things
for
can be
stuff
true.
like this. I tend to lead not necessarily towards a nefarious angle of like saying like effort,
I
but I
don't think
do.
it's nefarious. I think it's money. I think
Well,
they
yeah, it is my. I think
which
there's a
is
calculation that
which is nefarious, by the way. Just to be clear.
there's a calculation that gets made where a project with X cast or X starring this type of character doesn't
Demographic.
doesn't make the money it needs to make, right? And it's
Yeah.
unfortunate, but that's not. I almost don't want to say like that's inherently a Marvel issue.
No,
You
it's
know,
not inherently a Marvel issue, but it is a dangerous sign
yeah,
of the way these decisions are being made in creating the art that we want to see
yeah.
put out there. You know what I mean? It's the whole problem with art, right? Like art, art and commodification, like they're kind of intertwined. Like art can exist, but in order for an artist to survive in this world, they need to find a way to sell their art, And so, um, yeah, it just sucks because I do feel that all of the shows I described or that I named just a minute ago were some of the better ones that we've seen in a
I
while.
could have been fine with the Eyes of Wakanda.
I knew you were gonna say that, but they still did big swings in that show. Um, I do think that Ironheart was pretty badass.
I
Um,
liked Ironheart. Yeah, Ironheart
yeah,
was great.
but I
Um,
think the thing to remember about Ironheart, Eyes of Wakanda, and Wonder Man, no denying, all three of them, all episodes dropped all at once. And yet X-Men '97, we're here to talk about it
not
every week.
not in. Is it the all episodes dropping Iron Man? Ironheart?
Yes, they all did.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
I
It was
don't
super
remember.
it was super awkward. They dropped them all at the same time.
No, two weekly batches.
Two weekly batches?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, so you mean over the course of 2 weeks?
Yeah, they did three and three.
Okay, you got me there. They burned the whole show in a week.
I don't think that. I don't. I don't. I personally don't think that's like people see that as like a kiss of death. I don't like.
I don't think it's a good sign that you trust the longevity of your project because like Bad Batch gets a
Mhm.
weekly thing. Maul Shadow Lord is weekly. You know what I mean? Like the X-Men '97 weekly. You know what I mean? Daredevil Born Again weekly. Like occasionally they'll throw in an extra episode for any of those things, right? But like the point is certain ones Disney executives are working into the calendar and other ones they're like, "Ugh, let's just get this let's just get this out there as fast as we can." You know what I mean? Whether or not that means that it's a bad show, I don't think that's what it means. I think it means somebody doesn't have the confidence in the show.
I would disagree. I disagree, but I'll say it's disagreeing because we and it's not a Disney issue. It's every streamer issue. You just don't know. Like that's kind of like the frustrating part in terms of the creators of any streaming show is it's such a black box
You said that, not me.
on on how performance is gauged, what metrics, even getting viewing numbers. You rarely hear unless it's something crazy like a Game of Thrones or season one Mando. Those numbers don't really come out.
Right.
Um, so it's hard for anyone to just quantify, and you're kind of left in this book because we're like, I think this means it's bad, or I think this means it's good, but streaming is
Well,
definitely
no,
like,
well, I don't believe it means the show's bad. In fact, I know it doesn't mean the show's bad. Because I've seen those shows and I
mhm,
don't think they're bad. But what I'm saying is the public perception can be led they can infer that the show must be bad because they don't have visibility into any of the metrics, and so it shows a different sign of confidence from the people in charge when they're like, oh, they're going to string us along every week for like 6 weeks hey man, I can't go out for the next 6 Tuesdays because I gotta watch Daredevil. You know what I mean? As opposed to Ironheart, I'm like, oh, okay, it came out on a Friday. That's weird.
I don't know.
Like,
Yeah, I don't see that correlation at all. But it does suck that we're not getting more Wonder Man.
yeah,
A Wonder Man. We're not getting more of a Wonder Man show. But I do in my heart believe that we will get more Wonder Man the character in something. For at the very least, Daniel's hanging around in the MCU directing stuff.
Destin.
Daniel Destin's hanging around.
Destin is his name, not Daniel.
Destin Daniel.
Sure. Daniel's his middle
Uh,
name, bro.
um. Other than that, last bit of news, also movie related. If you want to see Spider Man again, it's coming on IMAX this week. It's kind of weird because they
Is
could
that
have
your way of
pushed.
saying if you want to see Odyssey in IMAX, you better do it now?
Well, no, that they're not. The Odyssey has a lock on like the 70 millimeter screens,
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
but if you want to see standard IMAX, then yeah, this will be now mixed in that rotation.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it is interesting that they could have just waited a week and just kind of gotten this from the start.
Yeah.
But people are saying this kind of gives hope for Infinity War. So that movie's not coming on IMAX because the Dune
Dune 3, yeah.
Dune has a lock for 3 weeks, but you best believe once those 3 weeks are up, there is going to be a IMAX cut of Doomsday.
All right.
So
Fair enough. That's cool. Yeah. I yeah, it's hard for me to be excited for Doomsday even after the Spider-Man movie. But I wish them the best of luck. Good. Yeah. Did we talk about that trailer last week? Did you want to
the Doomsday.
share?
Oh, the trailer that I saw or the trailer that you
Yeah,
saw?
the trailer that you saw.
Uh I mean, it was they should have released that trailer because it was interesting because it's very much a Reed, Stu, and Victor trailer as opposed to the weird X-Men Thor amalgam trailer that got released.
Yeah.
Um, there's a line where Sue's like, "I know Victor was hurt, but I didn't know he was broken," and they're kind of really hindering or hammering home. There's another line from that trailer where Reed's yelling at Victor saying like, "Victor, is this you? Like, did you do this? Did you do this?" Like in a very serious tone, non MCU quippy.
Yeah.
So I mean that was refreshing. That was refreshing, and it was also telling that the Doom that we see is the Doom from the Fantastic Four's world, and that they do have a history. Like
Yeah.
there's implied relation depending on how far they go back. If they go back to all the way to the roommate stuff, that they do intimately know each other.
Yeah.
The second part of that trailer was seeing Doom's powers, and it's it's magic. It's Doom using magic, which I think it's not something that we've seen from a Doom so far in the movies. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
always something to get excited about.
I was waiting for the qualifier. I was like, what do you mean we haven't seen that?
I my
Anyways.
dream for that movie is for it to. I think Doom's gonna win, right? That's kind of the setup because you kind of
Uh uh
need a Doom for Secret War.
well, Doom is important to Secret Wars,
Yeah,
yes, for sure.
the
But like
story, the
I
comic
think
story.
yeah, it depends on which. I think they're doing the more recent one,
Yeah,
not the older one. But I think the important thing about um, Doom is that like if you really want people to care about him, he needs more than one movie to
yeah,
to win you over. And so I know Kevin Feige's been like trying to sugarcoat it by saying, "Hey, look, we barely got any Thanos before Infinity War, and once Infinity War came out, then everybody got to know because that was Thanos' movie. And I was like, okay, Kevin Feige, but we also did get Thanos in 3 other movies before that.
Yeah.
So even if it was little snippets, but yes, I think that's the approach they're going for. Is this is Doom's movie, which is probably why it's called Doomsday. And my assumption is that he wins that movie. Yeah,
it would be, in my opinion, a good chef's kiss at the end of the movie is when the Avengers have Doom pinned on the ground, got him dead to rights, and they take off that mask, and it's a Doombot. That would be some Doom-ass Doom stuff right there.
feel like there's probably a better way to do that. I don't think the Doombot's going to be kicking the crap out of everybody with magic and doing all that stuff.
Doombots are Doombots.
Yeah, but Doombots are not usually. Yes, sure, fine. I'll let you have it. I'll let you have it. Whatever, it's cool. Do you want to talk about Spider-Man?
I do want to talk about Spider-Man.
Wait. By the way, before we do it, speaking of Spider-Man, do you know that Hasbro released the black suit Spider-Man on Saturday for pre-order?
I did see it. I guess it was Saturday.
Yeah, it was awkward because I just happened to notice it. Like I've been checking the store every day, and so on Saturday morning it was there, and I was like, "What is going on?" Like they're messing with their schedules, man. They're doing all kinds of weird stuff. But
what's wrong with the Saturday toy release?
It's not their normal schedule. It's usually Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Is that bad?
I mean, most people are out doing other stuff on Saturdays, so it's not the.
But you said you got the alert, so
I didn't get the alert. I didn't get the alert.
You were looking at toys?
I was just looking because I didn't trust them. I didn't trust them because they've been releasing stuff on weird days lately.
So you want the black suit Spider-Man?
I got it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's still better than the other black suit ones.
You were kind of poo-pooing on it last week.
I can poo-poo it and still get it. I'm just
the gun's cool.
The gun is cool.
I am fully confident that thing will have ample stock.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just letting you know in case you wanted it. The Mole Man also went up for pre-order, I think, on Friday.
That I don't want.
Oh, no, we talked about the Mole Man. It was before Friday.
Yeah.
It was before Friday. Yeah. That's right. Cool. All right, now we can talk about the movie.
Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Spoiler warning. Jean Grey's in it.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
That was like the worst kept secret. But
it was, but I was still hoping that maybe
for Shathra.
I was hoping for Typhoid Mary and Daredevil.
Oh, it sounds like you were disappointed.
I like the movie, but I wouldn't say it's a perfect movie, and I do think that for me, I'll rephrase this in a different way. You probably haven't experienced them as much as I have growing up, but are you familiar with the backdoor pilot?
Yeah.
It's like when, an entire episode of your favorite TV show,
Young Sheldon,
is oddly, well, no, that's not a backdoor pilot. That's not a backdoor pilot.
Well, it started as a backdoor pilot. Frasier started as a backdoor Cheers pilot.
No.
Yes.
You're not.
I know what a backdoor pilot is.
Frasier never had a backdoor pilot in Cheers.
Did it not?
No, it did not. Frasier lives in Boston in Cheers. It's only after Cheers ended that Frasier moves to Seattle.
The dumbass Marvel's Most Wanted had a backdoor pilot.
Wait. What was Marvel's Most Wanted?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. No, that one kind of, yeah, you're right. That one kind of did have a backdoor pilot. Sure.
All of the fucking Arrowverse had backdoor pilots. Definitely the Flash was a backdoor pilot.
The Flash is a backdoor pilot, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, a backdoor pilot is where like they take an episode of your favorite show and they devote an odd amount of screen time to somebody that's not the main character of that show in order to set up things down the line for some for to give it the best chance it has at succeeding down the line.
Yeah,
And I do feel like as much as I like this Spider-Man movie, as much fun as I had with the Spider-Man of it, I don't know how good I feel about it being a backdoor X-Men pilot, because that's kind of what this movie was. Like, there's a lot of X-Men lore thrown into this movie.
there is a lot more than even knowing the Jean Greyness of it all going in.
Yeah,
There is some like nuggets and themes where I look. Obviously, yes, the seeds are getting planted for the very soon to come X-Men. Um, but I look at it as like the ultimate, fulfillment of what the MCU can deliver, right? Um, I guess
well,
we're getting ahead of ourselves.
no. Okay, you take it where you want to go, but I'm just letting you know that I have mixed feelings about being Jean Grey being the main antagonist of the film.
Mm-hmm.
You could argue that it's also damage control, but it's both of them, right? It's
Yeah,
Jean Grey. Jean Grey is doing all the bad shit for 90% of the movie, and only at the end does the villain kind of swap over to being damage control.
yeah.
Right. So it's a little awkward. Do I have a problem with Jean Grey being morally ambiguous? Hell no. I actually think it's really clever that it is Jean Grey, before she's met Professor X, right? Because the whole point of his damn school is teaching kids who
Yeah.
don't know how to use their powers because they don't have the proper guidance, right? Like, and in her case, she's a damn orphan, right? She
Yeah.
has no one. She
She
has no
has
one to she has to hide who she is to in front of everybody. So is it kind of questionable that like she's like throwing human lives away, in order to get the revenge she wants and rescue her sister? Yeah, it's morally questionable. I think that's the freaking point. I think that's absolutely the point. So I had no problem with that. I love Sadie Sink in this movie. I think she plays a great Jean Grey. I just, I just, I just that little tingle. It's like, I wish this was more Spider-Man. And I'll tell you why I wish it was more Spider-Man. Because the other story they were doing was the other, which is Spider-Man goes through a metamorphosis and it
mm-hmm.
becomes a really important part of his story because, he has to learn to adapt from all of these new changes in his life. And in this movie, the other is quickly shoved under the rug, so that we can focus more on the mutant part of everything in the movie. And so instead of dealing with his problems and learning to, overcome, the obstacles, he builds an inhibitor, puts it on himself, and then he's like, I'm back to normal for most of the movie, right? Up until the end where he just says magically, I'm both. And then suddenly he's able to be okay with all the things that are
Like,
wrong with
if
him.
anything, I have less of a problem with the Jean Greyness. Or I guess it it being the backdoor X Men pilot more so than like
Backdoor pilot, yeah.
than man. Peter Parker's kind of like the fucking mutant Oppenheimer right now. Like,
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm saying, Ricky. I'm
like
saying I'm saying that I had an interesting story that was being presented to me, and instead they twisted it and made it so, Peter
I do think
Parker
it is
is,
subtle enough though for like if you don't really know what that leads to or what that is, I
yeah,
think
but
it does just kind of gloss over.
I think that movie kind of hits you over the head with a hammer the way people are reacting when he's talking about
Oh,
it.
for
You know
sure.
what I mean? They're not being subtle. They're not being subtle.
That is my favorite part of the film is when he meets with
Bruce.
Bruce at was it ESCU
Yeah,
Empire State yeah,
yeah,
and Bruce is kind of like you're playing with fire here. Like this is like
yeah.
look, and I wish they would get like I my hope is for it to get really talked about like in the X-Men thing of like you start getting like some crazy like you did eugenics conversation Like that's where it
Yeah,
kind of leads to.
essentially the inhibitor that Peter makes to deal with his arachnid hormones going out of control uh, is he creates a universal inhibitor that could technically work on any powered individual, not just mutant,
Yeah,
technically, right? Um, and what he's essentially done is created the inhibitor that becomes a huge part of the X-Men lore and leads to massive amounts of genocide, just so much genocide,
yeah.
like just so much. Like you got to understand, like the only difference between mutants and every other superpowered person in the Marvel universe is, for some reason, people hate them. Like they just hate them. They're just hated. You know
Well,
what I
see
mean?
that's the other seed I did like by going the Jean Grey route and making her this morally ambiguous character is
She gave them a
there's
reason to hate
she
them.
gave him a lot of good reasons. She gave Bruce Banner more than enough reason to be like, Peter Parker, I think your collar, I think you're right about these collars.
Nah, I think Bruce is better than that. But I
Um,
do think that Bruce is willing to take the sentence that is given to him because, it's the right thing to do, right? Like, is
yeah,
it? I actually really appreciate, just like we'll get to all the characters, but I appreciate that moment where Ned is watching the TV, the news story that Bruce is going, he's being locked up for what he did, and it's the first time he's been the Hulk with uh previously without incident for years, right? With years. So, and then Ned sheds a tear for this poor guy because, like, the Hulk is a huge character in their universe, right? He's, as a reminder, the Hulk brought everybody back from the blip. Like,
yeah.
that's Banner saved the world. He saved the universe. Like, he saved the freaking universe. And so it sucks because he's got to be locked up because he's a savage monster who can kill everybody if he wants to. Um, and so I do appreciate the gravity with which they dealt with a lot of characters. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And I think there's something to also be said about, like, what did you think of the Punisher in this movie?
I think he plays up and down nicely in terms. I mean, like the last time we saw the Punisher was in a thing
One
called One
last
Last
kill.
Kill,
Yeah.
where he is doing
Where it's called One Last Kill, but he kills like 40
he
dudes in that
kills
movie.
like 40 people.
Yeah.
Um, my gripe with that film, as we talked about, is he doesn't wear the fucking suit.
Yes.
So I'm happy to see him wear the suit and still do Punisher things. Um, and I really did love the climax of this movie being the Punisher shooting Spider-Man. Whether
With a
it
with a
not
50 caliber
with the 50
rifle.
cal again, not intentional, but that is a very like that is like the Punisher comic book thing. He very much hunted Spider-Man for like a
He
hot second.
hunted Spider-Man because it was a case of, like, he didn't know better kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's a neat reframing, and you could have had the Punisher intervene in that scene in 10 different ways, but for them to do the sniper and have him in the have Spider-Man in the cross or have Jean Grey in the crosshairs, like to me that's like okay, they're doing their homework. They know what that imagery does with the
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
I also think, I mean, there's a lot of imagery from the
Mm-hmm.
comics and the video games, right? Like, this
Mm-hmm.
movie is lifted straight from the video games
Oozing,
and the comics. Yeah. Like,
oozing with just panel
yeah.
after panel after frame after frame.
Yeah. It's a lot for sure.
And that like I know we have different baselines of what we call a good movie, but like for me, I'm very simple, very small potatoes, as Yelena says. You give me a good suit, and you show them doing things that they do in the comics or doing the games. That's a passing grade on my rubric. That's
Well,
all you have to do.
I love the suit. The suit is my favorite thing. That's my favorite on screen, or it's my favorite live action Spider-Man suit so far. Like, it
They
is so
just
perfect. It's so perfect.
so
But
good.
also, my bar is showing the hero doing heroic things, and oh
Mm-hmm.
my god, the amount of people Spider-Man saves through this whole damn movie. Like, he's saving kids, he's saving people from falling off buildings, he's saving that cool sweeping move he does when that APC crashes through the wall and it's gonna land on like three people and he just scoops them up with his web. man, I love it. I love it so much watching
It's
him
so
do
it's
all
so
that.
good. And my one gripe with the suit, it doesn't have the fat spider. It needs the fat spider.
Yeah,
But
on the back. Yeah,
everything else is amazing. But I liked with all of the Spider-Man scenes of him doing the Spider-Manisms. It's so effortless at this point, and
yeah.
it's really
He's
rewarding that he's gotten to this proficiency.
he's a
And yeah,
seasoned Spider-Man. He's a seasoned Spider-Man for sure.
the issues come in when his powers change, but even then, like he's still kicking ass. Like the Spider-Man, the raw physical Spider-Man things are not a hindrance to him at all in this movie. And that was like it's
Yeah,
almost like the inverse of like where we're at with Batman, right? We've gotten, you know, a seasoned Batman for quite some time. So where when we had gotten the Batman, Robert Pattinson's Batman, I thought it was kind of refreshing to see a younger Batman that fails. He doesn't win in that movie. And it's a nice
yeah.
change of pace.
Well,
And
because the
I
problem is the franchises always end before we get to see Peter Parker grow old enough to.
Yeah, and this Spider-Man
Yeah,
had the inverse problem where we had a stretch where he's a young kid,
yeah,
and that was interesting in its own right, seeing him learn how to be Spider-Man, how to use a suit, have a cool ass suit, get that suit taken away.
mm,
But at the end of the day, in those movies, there's not a lot of Spider-Man doing Spider-Man things in New York, right?
yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. He's
So,
there's actually an entire movie where he does it in Europe instead. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's almost even Homecoming. Part of it's in Washington D.C. Like a large chunk of it's in D.C. So yeah, I get you. Like seeing Spider-Man actually be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man where he's
and
doing
the
stuff in New York.
city loves him.
Yeah, the city loves him. That is one of the best parts of the movie for sure, is watching how he is not just loved by the city, he is loved by law enforcement too, right? Like law
Mhm.
enforcement is directly
He's
working
loved
with
by
this
law
guy.
enforcement. He's loved by the new Avengers. He's loved by, I mean, by association, the other vigilantes with the Punisher. Like he's,
Oh yeah, the Punisher loves this guy way more than he loves Daredevil. You know what I mean? Like he's like best friends with Spider-Man at this point by the end of the movie. Um, yeah, no, it's really cool how I think the whole point of this movie, like, not to I know we've been talking about all the little things and stuff, but the movie's really about like the changes that you go through as you transition into adulthood, right? Like
Mhm.
that's what this movie is about, and it's about like how do you take your traumas and uh, not hide them, but use them to grow, right? Like that's what it's about. And I think the really cool thing about this movie is as Peter comes to term with becoming a mature adult in this movie, he now gets to do the thing that has been done to him for all the other movies, right? He's always had a mentor in all the other movies. But now he gets to be the mentor for Jean, right? He actually gets to be there to support her. And I think it's one of the most beautiful things ever that the way he finally wins her to the light side, right? Like how
Mhm.
he redeems like that morally questionable person is by inviting mind to just meet Aunt May. Meet Aunt May for a minute. You know what I mean? Like he's been trying to tell this girl like, look, we're more alike than you think. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, come in my head. Just get in there and see what you think. And I think that's such a really cool way to use Marissa Tomei. Um, Aunt May is really important to Peter, and it is the reason that he will never stop hoping. He will never stop trying to persevere because um, he he's just got the best support ever. And so I think it's awesome that I do like as much as I gripe about the backdoor pilot thing. I think it's super awesome that like Peter Parker now has this inroad to the X-Men where it's like, hey, I know you're probably mad at me guys because I made the inhibitor, but also like me and Jean Grey are like best friends. Is that cool? You know, like it's like it's at least something, right? It's at least something. So maybe they don't kill him outright when they meet him next time. But yeah, I really just I think it's a really beautiful story that gets presented for Peter in that like he is he is you get to see a montage of 4 years of his life of doing it by himself. And by himself, I mean, you know, he did have Jean DeWolf, but like that's pretty much it, right? Like he just has Jean as his like therapist, right? Like and at some point in those 4 years, he saved Frank on Staten Island, and we never get to see that story. Maybe we'll see it one day in a cartoon or a comic or something like that. But so he's picking up people along the way. He's finding a way. It's almost like he's realizing, like subconsciously, that even when he's trying to do it by himself, he can't. Right? He just can't. And so, like the end of the movie is like, yeah, no, I definitely can't do this by myself. Like I need a support network. So it's really cool that gets that gets put in there.
It
Yeah,
yeah, and it's like one of those things where it's like it's I get your hang up of it. You know, it isn't a backdoor X-Men movie. There's no denying that. But for it being that, it's so good. Yes, would I have liked to see Spider-Man fight a little bit more Spider-Man villains? Sure. Would it have been cool to see the bad guy be
yeah,
like that's I think the criticism of him not having original villains holds up still. Like he was beefing with Scorpion for a hot second, but half that movie Scorpion's not Scorpion.
not
He's
Scorpion. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and also he very much can't handle Scorpion.
I
Scorpion
mean,
presented
he can handle everybody. I shout out to Marvin Jones III who gets to reprise his portrayal
his
of Tombstone, but
five
this
seconds
time
of Tombstone.
in live action. I think it's funny how Spider-Man wasn't even sweating that confrontation.
Yeah.
He's like, "What if I drop you off the building right now? How long would it take you?" He's like, "I don't know. Let's find out." And then he just completely like webs the guy, and next thing you know, it's over. Um, no, yeah, I liked kind of seeing Spider-Man make quick work of his villains. Like, that's cool. I don't like. I will. I'll be honest. If I gotta have gripes besides the backdoor pilot, dude, you have the hand ninjas and you never gave us Daredevil. That was such a tease. That was such a tease. You know that was a tease. Like, I feel so weird about Spider-Man beating the hand without Daredevil in it.
It
I'll,
well, it gets weird because like obviously the big bad in Daredevil aside from Fisk is the anti vigilante task force, right?
and they're just nowhere to be found. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like I guess in this movie like Damage Control's doing their whole thing.
Yeah, but also like I was still thinking about the anti-vigilante task force when Frank Castle shows up to the hospital with Spider-Man dying, and you know that's one thing to drop off Spider-Man at the hospital, but fast forward to the next morning and he's still there,
Like,
and
oh,
nobody's come, nobody's
you're a serial killer.
you're a serial killer who's wanted by all law enforcement, and nobody said anything or did anything about it. Like, and that to me, that took me out of the moment for a second. These are just like the comic book nerd in me. Like, I can't help but like notice things like that are maybe it's not even comic book nerd. Maybe that's just like consistency in your
No, I mean,
storytelling,
yeah,
right?
they
Yeah,
they very much set up who this person is
yeah,
in
yeah. They
Daredevil
know.
and in its
Yeah,
own special.
multiple years, right? Like it's not just like one episode. It's
Apparently, Rosario
yeah.
Dawson did shoot a scene for that
I
movie,
know.
and I'm
I
like, oh, that would
heard.
have been
Yeah.
mwah, chefs.
Yeah.
But look,
I also learned that they actually had a lot of trouble. They had gone back and forth a lot on who the villain of the movie would be,
mhm.
and then circumstances just kind of presented themselves because originally they were going to use somebody that they said was a much lower profile character uh, that does the things in the movie that Jean is doing, and that kind of that.
The Leaper Queen is what a
Well, no, the Leper Queen.
Leper
No,
Queen.
no. So just so you know, I found this out through I forget his whole name, but it's Nikhil. Nikhil. Um, is on TikTok and or he's on social media. He's a really knowledgeable Marvel Comics person. He was actually even hired for a few years from his knowledge, hired by Marvel. I don't know in what capacity he was doing, but he's no longer there anymore. But he was quick to point out, just from the trailers, that the plot of this movie very much resembled the plot of Marvel Team Up number 100 from 1980. And I went and read that comic, and it's pretty cool because it's the plot of this movie, pretty much, except for the it's the Jean Grey plot of the movie,
Hmm.
kind of. But it's a character called Karma, who ends up becoming a main character in the New Mutants, which was not featured in the New Mutants movie. Awkward. But she is of Asian descent, and I think when I saw an interview with Kevin Feige saying originally they were going to use a lower profile version of a character. I can't help but think, being that the director is Destin Daniel Cretton, who also did uh, Shang-Chi and also did what is it uh, what's this the TV show on the Asian American Born Chinese, right? I think is what
Oh
it's
yeah,
called.
he's also
Yeah,
doing the Naruto movie.
yeah. This guy is a huge proponent of Asian representation in media, right? I kind of feel bad for him because I feel like he probably did want it to be Karma, but like somebody got the idea, what if it's Jean Grey, and then they just ran with it. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, like I'm
um,
not gonna be. I think if you're a comic book fan and you're making this movie and you get the green light to get Spider-Man and Jean Grey in your movie, I don't think that's the they did the right thing for that way.
um,
Those are
a,
two
a,
top shelf toys right there,
they're
and
top
the
shelf
Hulk,
toys.
and the Punisher,
I know.
and an army build wave.
I'm just saying, if you're interested in ever seeing the inspiration for this story, Marvel Team Up number
Like,
100. It's
mm-hmm.
written by Chris Claremont and drawn by Frank Miller.
Ooh,
It features the Fantastic Four and uh, and the X Men and Spider Man.
but
Yeah,
it's no. This I mean, but this is, in my opinion, the standard for what every MCU movie should be, where it all the toys just are playing
yeah,
with each other
for
in
sure.
inappropriate capacities.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
Yelena's even lays it out. You're small potato stuff, I'm big potato stuff, but I'm gonna throw you a bone. I'm
which
gonna get you.
is so funny that she says
It's
that because Spider Man could kick the crap out of every single person on that team.
mhm,
Every single person
100%.
yeah, like it's so
But
funny that she says that.
you leave out all of the whataboutisms that you get with the Netflix or with the TV shows or with some of the other movies. Like, yeah,
Well, not
this
all. I'm still
well,
like, what about Daredevil?
he's at Rikers.
Okay, fine. uh, but I think that's the problem though, is it does, like, when you spoil me like that, I get greedy.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
you're getting
Like,
greedy. For
yeah.
all we know, Spider-Man's a Fisk advocate.
He wears a red hat and everything.
He has a blue hat.
Oh yeah, it's a blue hat for Fisk. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But I would be remiss if we didn't actually also talk about the rest of the supporting cast in this movie because, like, let's be honest. Like, I've heard Tom Holland say before he won't do these movies without his ride or dies, which are Ned and MJ. And I think that they're freaking awesome in this movie. Like, I think it's so fun how they work them into the story and how Peter, like, also, by the way, like, as much as I might gripe, like, you gotta understand, like, as much as I have, like, formula for a good superhero movie, I have a specific requirement for a good Spider-Man movie, and that is I need to be able to sup on his tears and the pain. Like, the more tortured Spider-Man is in a movie, the more I
He
enjoy
kind of
it.
gets put through the emotional
And
ringer.
yes, and so, like, the montage, the 4-year montage of him not with MJ and Ned, but stalking them constantly, right? Like, constantly knowing what they're doing in their lives, but afraid to, like, get involved.
It's a little sad.
It's so delicious. I loved it so much. And I love when he finally just invites himself to the party, and things get awkward, and then
He's a little creeper. He's a little
next
weird.
thing you know, the creepy Jean Grey figures it all out, and I'm just shaking my head. I'm like, it was all for nothing, Spider-Man. You tried for 4 years. You ruined your life to protect them, and look what happened. It didn't matter. It didn't matter at all. Now they're endangered again. I love that. I love that so much because that is the Parker luck, right? Is like no matter how much good he tries, something always goes wrong. But I really did love, that MJ got to be this new version of her that totally sees how good of a person Spider-Man is, but she's like, but I don't have those feelings for you, man, because they're just not there. Those memories aren't there, and I also really just love the scene where like she still invites Peter to their apartment, and like he's doing Legos with Ned, and like he's just like at ease. He's just falling back into his comfort zone. It's so adorable. Like those three characters really have cemented themselves as a trio. You know what I
Do
mean?
you
Like
need MJ back, or is it time for her to exit?
I don't want MJ to exit. Why would you ask
I'm
me
saying
that? Well, I will say this.
other loves that Spider-Man has.
I will say this. Like, I think it's funny. It's in the grand tradition now of the MCU. They love to borrow titles from like big story moments and completely bastardize the stories that take place.
Hmm.
Like Age of Ultron is absolutely nothing like the
It's like
Age
a
of
day of
Ultron
Ultron. Yeah.
in the comics. Yeah, Civil War very different from the Civil War in the comics.
Yeah.
Brand New Day so different from the comics because the point of Brand New Day was like as a reminder, Spider-Man made a deal with the devil in One More Day, and got them got the whole world to forget that he's Spider-Man, right? And uh, the real reason the writers did this, it was at a writers retreat beforehand. They decided that they kind of regretted that Spider-Man got married all those years ago in the comics because it really limited his romantic options, right? Like, there's a whole facet of Spider-Man that they couldn't delve into anymore
Yeah.
because he's like hitched up with the love of his life, right? Like, they're not going to go around doing like, what if Spider-Man goes around cheating on MJ? No, nobody wants to see that, right? Like, so they had to figure out a way to free him up so that he could be the young stud he once was before. And this is I know I'm saying this, and it's just enraging Clark, who's watching the show right now. It's so funny. But so that's why they did the Brand New Day story was to allow writers the freedom to let him date again, or and also have the will they won't they one day, with MJ. And so I think it's funny that this movie is called Brand New Day, and yeah, he could have dated. In fact, he's got a nice young blonde girl in his apartment complex that clearly is into him, and he is not having it, right? Like he is just still fixated on MJ, and I thought that was really funny. The difference in the comics is Peter forgets about his love of MJ as well. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of part of that's more the stipulation is the devil's like I get to steal the love that you
Hmm.
guys have for each other. So it's just funny that like we're just right back into it. Like it's I don't think there's ever gonna be a Gwen that steals his attention. There's never gonna be Betty Brant's not gonna happen. Like none of them are gonna happen. Like I feel bad for a Black Cat because I just don't know. I can't see Tom Holland like looking anywhere else than Zendaya. Like it's just is what it is. So how dare you ask me if I'm getting tired of MJ?
I didn't
Yeah.
ask. I said he thinks it's the end of MJ, but
No, no, I
I
don't think
think
it is.
we'll wrap it up here.
Wait, I have a question for you before we wrap it really quick.
Hmm.
What do you think about the theory that Jean Grey messing with everybody's heads is causing them to remember Spider-Man or Peter?
Well,
Because
yeah.
The Hulk suddenly remembered him, right?
Hmm.
When that's the first one, right? The first sign.
Yeah.
The Hulk was first. He when he said we're friends, the Hulk suddenly remembered it. Uh,
That one's
and
weird
then
because like they did not interact except for that funeral.
still friends,
Yeah.
still friends.
That
Uh,
I mean that's one bit we didn't talk about either. It was very refreshing to see a Savage Hulk again, and I greatly appreciate them showing the size difference of what that Hulk is compared to what a Professor Hulk is.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, they're physically different characters or different beings. Um,
Yeah,
but
in fact, Clark wants to see them married. He wants
the Hulk
Hulk
and
and
Spider-Man,
yeah,
yeah.
he wants Hulk and Spider-Man married.
But I want to believe that her mind stuff did something.
Because
I want to.
you notice how MJ is crying when she comes out of it, right? And then
She's
of course
holding the necklace, yeah.
holding the necklace, and then obviously at the very end of the movie is Ned does the handshake, right?
Mhm.
And he suddenly kind of he puts two and two together that Spider-Man and Peter that is Peter, that's the
But he
Peter.
also knows Peter is his name.
Yes, no, I know, but people
That
are
one I have a little harder to believe because that's more like muscle memory. So like
you're saying a Doctor Strange spell can't can't
I'm
can't
not
deal
saying you
with
can,
muscle
but like
memory.
that's a much more interesting spell. Think of all the professional athletes you fuck over by doing that,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
But I was just curious because I think that's like every Spider-Man movie ends with like a hint at what's next to come, and
Oh, his ass
there
is in space. That's what's next.
is it him or is it another one?
I think it's
Because
another one,
yeah, because I don't think the one that was on the map disappeared from the map.
but
I think another one got added.
just like Doom is important to a Secret War story, a Spider-Man in a very specific suit is also important to that story.
That is that is well, it depends on what Secret Wars we're doing, but yeah,
But
sure. But I think Spider-Man in the black suit is probably the most famous thing to come out of the original
mm-hmm.
1980s story. So we'll see. But yeah, I still had a fun time with this movie. By the way, Keith David being the narrator of the voice, I geeked out. I forgot that Keith David was in the movie, so I wasn't like upset. I was only like happy to hear him.
Collected a paycheck for that one.
Yeah, for sure he did, for sure. But yeah, Florence Pugh, we barely even talked about that. Amazing. I think it's funny that the mayor from Daredevil was in one shot.
Perfect. That's all. That's how easy this shit can be
Mm-hmm.
when you
You know
just
that wasn't even Tom Holland in that shot, too.
no.
That was
Like
stunt double
I
for
argue
sure.
how much Tom Holland's in this movie, but back to what we said earlier. Like it's this movie does such a good job of just putting a reason about behind all the little isms, right? The New York isms, right?
Yeah.
Just show the mayor, show
What do you
my.
think? What do you think about Bill Metzger or Mr. Milchick?
I was almost so I liked him. I like him. He is a X-Men character historically, right?
Not that I
Bill.
know of.
Um,
Not that I know of.
I like this kind of amalgam that damage control is becoming, and it again, you're talking about planting seeds for the future. Who created damage control? That's a
Yeah.
Tony Stark thing, So you're getting this beef between these two parties established. Um, I will say I thought it was interesting that they still haven't said the word mutant. They say mutation a lot,
He is an anti-mutant activist. I guess you're right. He was.
but they're very cautious in this film to not say the word mutant. Even though they
Yeah.
dance around it, so I'm kind of waiting for like them to The minute he calls someone a mutie, I'm gonna lose it.
Nice, nice. Well, that's all. I just wanted to double check, but yes, you're correct. He is a anti-mutant activist that first appeared in 1999's X-Men: Children of the Atom #1. So there you go.
It'd be
Um,
hilarious if Peter gets like an internship at Trask Industries.
oh my god. Yeah, gross. But yeah, in general, I still like this movie. I would give it a 9 out of 10. I do think it's probably got my most favorite Spider-Man moments, like as far as Spider-Man doing the mundane Spider-Man shit that I geek out on. Like, I think the web swinging is the best it's ever been in this movie.
Hundred
I
percent,
think the I think the fighting is the best it's ever been in this
100%.
movie, and I think he saves the crap out of people, which is what I love Spider-Man doing. So yeah, I think it's all of the nitpicks I gave are nitpicks. All right, just to be clear, 9 out of 10 for me. I still like Into the Spider Verse better. Just to be clear. Just to be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had a blast with this movie. So there, I just wanted to get those last few things, like bit of information in there and all that stuff. Like, it's a fun movie. It's got a lot of different. It's pulling from a lot of different sources all over the place. So if you like Spider-Man, if you like X-Men, if you like Punisher, and if you like the Hulk, if you like any of those things, you gotta watch this movie, right? But probably especially if you like X-Men. I'm so happy for, by the way, my friend Vince. He wore his Jean Grey shirt to that movie, and you don't understand.
Yeah,
As long as I've been
we,
friends with him,
we
he
gotta
has
hit a friend of
worn.
the show, Abel. His
Oh
it's a
yeah,
big year for
I know,
Mystique
right?
and Jean Grey.
Yeah, for sure. But like, I felt so bad for that guy for so many years because Jean Grey's his favorite character, and I think she has been done dirty in every single movie she's ever been in until this week. You know, like so. I just think it's funny that the first time she got done right was in a Spider-Man movie.
Okay.
Awkward. What are you gonna do?
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, uh,
And
enough
troopers.
said.